just before we go, we thought we might, rather unfairly, ask our three laureates if they just had one reflection on the day. How do you sum up such a day, in one reflection? But do you want to try? Abdulrazak, do you want to try going first?
Thank you. Well, it's lovely to be back here again. Well, we've heard a lot of things, many different aspects, mentions of this issue of migration. But I think there's one thing, or one group of people we haven't said anything about. And those are people who are volunteers, who extend their goodwill, who look after many people. Certainly in the UK, I know many groups of people who do this. And I would just like to add that we should think of them as well and thank them for what they do.
Thank you. Ardem, do you want to go next?
Sure. I remember today one of the more negative comments I received when I was a new immigrant. I was 19 years old, and in a basketball court there was some misunderstanding, and someone looked at me and said, "Why don't you go back to where you came from?" One of those statements that really hurts. And what was really felt bad about this came from a fellow Armenian American who was born in the US, but their parents had come from the same place that I came from. And so it was just the idea that this anti-immigration can happen so fast within one generation. And what I remembered and learned today is that so many animals migrate, the history of human immigration. This is such a common feature for all of our species, and we should remember that as a way to avoid this negative impact that we have when we sometimes talk about immigration.
Thank you very much. And it can be so local. I was on holiday in America this year and hired a car in Nevada with California license plates. And as I was driving, some people drove past me and shouted, "Why don't you go back to California?" Steve.
Well, I want to close this in an optimistic way. People migrate for many, many reasons, immigrate for many reasons, some to escape, some to survive. But also, they come maybe out of desperation, maybe out of optimism. But I would say, generally speaking, that the people who do move are the ones who are bolder, maybe more desperate, but it is really some of the best things that happen when people come to this country. I was describing to a friend of mine, he said, "I thought you were first generation." "No, I'm second generation. That means I was born here. My parents came over." And then he said, "What do you call third generation?" I say, "Lazy." That's just to say that when immigrants arrive, they are some of the hardest working because they have to prove themselves, and they came to make a world better for their children, and you can see this written all over those families.
Yeah, very true. Thank you very, very much indeed.
Thank you.
It's been a really fantastic day, and I'd like to thank all our participants and you, the audience, for being with us today. Together, you made a fantastic discussion, so thank you all very much indeed. Next Nobel Week Dialogue is on the 9th of December next year. It'll be in Stockholm. See you then. And for now, thank you very much indeed. Special guests, follow the signs. Thank you all. Everybody's special. Thank you.